It's called a black box, but it's not black. It's bright orange, it doesn't record everything, and after a crash, sometimes they don't want you to hear what's inside. Every commercial jet carries 2 of them. They survive fires, explosions, and 3,000 feet of ocean pressure. They hold the last minutes of a flight, the voices, the warnings, the truth. So why are some recordings never released? What happens to the data they don't want the public to hear? And who decides what stays buried? Welcome to Dark Whisper. Today, we open the box. First, a correction. There are 2 black boxes. The Flight Data Recorder, FDR, logs over 2,000 parameters: altitude, speed, control inputs, engine status, every second, every flight. The second is the Cockpit Voice Recorder, CVR. It loops the last 2 hours of cockpit audio. Pilot chatter, alarms, engine sounds, even the click of a switch. But here's what airlines don't advertise. The CVR doesn't record everything. It's not a surveillance device. It's an investigation tool, and after a crash, that audio becomes evidence, not content. In many countries, cockpit recordings are legally protected. They're used to find causes, not to assign blame. Which means you'll likely never hear the actual voices from a crash. Only summaries, only conclusions. Some crashes take years to solve. Air France 447 vanished in 2009. The black boxes weren't found until 2011, 2 miles underwater. When they finally listened, the truth was more complicated than anyone expected. The recordings revealed a cockpit struggling with conflicting information. One pilot pulling up, another pushing down, alarms screaming, no one in control. It wasn't mechanical failure, it was human. And that's a story airlines prefer to keep quiet. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Black box data is often sealed for years, sometimes decades. Families wait for answers. Media demands transparency, but the final report? It's carefully worded, politically reviewed, legally filtered. You'll read probable cause, spatial disorientation, but you won't hear the pilot's voice breaking. You won't hear the moment they realized it was too late. Some recordings are never made public, not because of privacy, but because of what they reveal. Imagine a recording that shows a manufacturer's flaw, or a training failure, or a systemic problem across an entire fleet. Releasing that audio doesn't just explain one crash. It exposes an industry. That's why black box data is handled like state secrets, not to hide the truth, but to control how the truth comes out, slowly, carefully, with context, and sometimes, the boxes are never found. MH370, the black boxes are still missing. And with them, the final story of 239 souls. No data, no voices, just silence. The black box isn't just a device, it's a promise. A promise that when things go wrong, someone will look for answers. But answers aren't the same as access. Truth isn't the same as transparency. At Dark Whisper, we follow the data they don't highlight. We ask the questions they don't answer. If you want to know what's really in the box, subscribe. Because some secrets aren't meant to stay buried. I'm Lucas, and I'll see you in the next investigation.